Did you see it on the screen?
Yeah.
Yes. Slay. Start. Okay.
Want to hear something fun?
No, but okay.
So I just got one of my Facebook memories at the end of undergrad. I very quickly added on a second minor in criminal justice because at that point I was like, I don't want to pursue psychology, which is the degree I was actively getting. My voice looks real soft on there. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you out of this.
Okie dokie. But I added on the criminal justice minor. Okay, that looks more normal.
Yeah, keep talking and I can adjust your sound level.
Okay,
keep talking.
And I just got a memory that popped back up that said something one of my professors said was that any gun that is small enough to fit inside your ass is called a poop shooter. And I felt the need to share that on Facebook over a decade ago, and it just popped up in my memories.
That's insane. Facebook memories should be outlawed, in my opinion. I don't need to be reminded of the dumb shit I said on Facebook.
Before like 2014 or so, I completely agree.
No. And I had unfettered access to a Facebook account when I was in Clockett Bible College. So some of that shit that's on my Facebook page, no one needs to see because it's very fundamentalist focused. Every
time memories pop up, there's like an 80% chance I'm deleting it.
Like a status. Just taking it off your page all the way.
A status from like 2010, 2011, or before, it's almost a 99% chance I'm deleting it.
You're just taking it off your page. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like, boy, Eli, that was wild to say.
We were really out here for free. Yeah, I miss those days. I miss the days of like 2014. That was when I was a senior in high school.
Oh my
and
God.
I know, sorry. I knew that was going to be really hurtful for you. Sorry, but I had to say it. But when I was a senior in high school and I like was going to my freshman year of college, like that was when I think was at like my peak internet consumption, which we're going to talk about internet consumption later as it relates to my pyramid. But I miss the freedom of just like shit posting on Facebook and not caring that other people can see what I post.
Yeah.
Because now I have such a debilitating inability to post anything on social media because it really stresses me out. And I'm like, damn, I miss when I didn't really care what people thought about my internet presence. Yeah.
Dude, imagine what it was like in like 2008. When I was on Facebook and MySpace and shit,
I never had a MySpace.
We didn't understand the real ramifications. And it turns out our parents were right. They're like, whatever you put on the internet, it's going to stay there
and then
forever,
our
blah,
parents'
blah.
generation fell victim to reading everything that they believe on Facebook.
Yeah, but they're right about this.
That's true.
That, dude,
that shit follows you forever. The internet's forever.
The generations that have grown up with the internet the whole time, because we got the internet partially through being people. They have grown up with it, and so they're way better trained on it than we are, or were at their age anyway.
Sorry, one of my friends. Sorry, now I'm the asshole that's on their phone. When I was having a conversation with one of my friends about how I need to get a new set of pots and pans, and she's at Costco, and she's taking pictures of things and sending them to me.
Oh, hell yeah!
Because the pans I have are I got them off of Amazon like a year ago, and they're like disintegrating.
Panmazon.
Yeah, and like the handle at one point I was like cooking something, and the handle just snapped off the pan.
Oh, I've had that happen.
Like, oh, sick! And I need to like buy actual cookware, that's why she's texting me. Okay, are you ready to get started?
Yes.
Okay, wait. Oh, they only have it in white and blue. Lame. I want it in green.
You want a green pan?
I want everything in green.
You want a Peter pan?
Sam's Club has them too, so I'll go check there when I go later. Thank you for your service. Hang on.
I've never understood spending like an entire day shopping. That is so wild to me.
It must be so boring to be a man.
Oh.
I had that thought the other day. Yesterday, I like went and got brunch with my sister. We got our nails done, and we were dicking around in Target for like an hour.
I'm so glad you're saying.
It's so boring to be a man.
I'm so glad you're saying this. Wait for my pyramid.
Oh, okay, great. Ready to get started?
Yes.
Welcome back to the Pyramid, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. My name is Amanda, and I am both your benevolent overlord and host of the podcast. I got new microphone stands, as you can see. Maybe you can't because of the pillow, but you can see Eli's. And I have a new audio interface because I was editing last week's podcast, and I was like, wow, my audio sounds like butt ass. And so I got new stands and a new interface, so hopefully it sounds better.
Interface? Barely know her face.
Introduce yourself from and unplug you.
I'm Eli, the dipshit participation trophy of co-hosts.
Thank you so much. Ridiculous. I'm trying to do nice things for our listeners.
Yeah.
And you use that opportunity to make a joke. That's crazy, but whatever.
Well, I don't know if you've ever listened to this podcast before. But
Also, speaking of that's crazy, yesterday when I was hanging out with my sister, I said something. She like brought something up, and I was going to say they're so real for that, and she said it at the same time as me, and she was like, "I knew you were going to say that," and I felt very embarrassed.
you
Like
should
that's
feel very seen
so no,
and loved.
not by a sibling. Not by a sibling.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, Neely
wait.
doesn't love you at all.
You will appreciate this. So on a very real note, to get very actually real, my dad's sister has been struggling with cancer for a long time, and she passed away a couple days ago. And it's been like, thank you. It's been very emotional for me. It's been very hard. Not because I was necessarily close with her, because she lived in a different state, and I think I can count on the number of times I've interacted with her on one hand. But just like the emotions of like my dad losing his sibling
That's
really
rough.
affected me,
Yeah.
and his sister, and that's his only sibling, and
Shit.
I have one sibling and it's a sister, and so Neely and I have been like really, having a hard time with this. So I called her the other night as she was like being taken off life support, and I like called my sister and I was like, I just want to talk to you, like I love you so much, and like I'm so thankful that I have the relationship with you that I do and all these things. She was crying and she was like, I know, it just like whatever, we're like going through it together. And I said, like, kind of as a joke, I was like, when this is us and we're old enough and like this is our story, like I have to die before you. Like I was like saying as a joke, like I can't go through this when it's you and me. Like I'm getting this emotional and it's not even my sibling. When this is us, I don't know how I'm going to survive. I have to die before you. And my sister said, you probably will. Now, even in a moment of like a grief process, it was like, well, she was like, I'm just being honest. Like she was like, there's no way that you're going to outlive me if we're just being totally honest.
That's hilarious.
Like, thank you so much. I love you more than I love myself. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
Okay, you ready to get started?
Yeah.
With the pyramid, I don't know why I almost just did the intro again.
That would have been. I would not have stopped you. That would have been
Fuck
so
you, dude.
funny.
That's so annoying. Okay.
Oh, that would have been so funny.
Do you want to go first? You want to start with your pyramid of life?
Yeah.
Okay, what you got, bruh?
My bottom is delicious. No, my bottom is sleeping through an alarm, which may or may not have happened this morning.
I wasn't going to out you like that,
Peek
but if you want
behind
to
the
talk about it, you
curtain.
can talk
We were
about
recording on a Sunday morning.
It was just like the good old days, though, because we just sat down and watched this episode together.
Yeah.
I had already watched it because I did my homework because because I care about this, but Eli didn't, and we sat down and watched it together. I was like, oh my god, this is like when we used to watch them and record them.
It was like a 4-hour ordeal.
It was 3 usually.
Well, no, because watching the
you
episode,
and me, it was 4 because we would
Right.
always be shooting the shit. That's true.
Right, because like we watched the episode, we had to pause every once in a while to take notes. We
Yeah.
had to let the
audio upload.
Yeah,
Yeah.
recording the audio took several hours because we had to upload 30-minute segments or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was wild. Anyway, so I slept through my alarm today. I set an alarm. I was going to watch the episode, take my notes, and then come over and record at 10. I woke up at 9 something.
You texted me
having silenced my alarm and was like, oh
Yeah,
no.
you texted me at 9:20 and said, God damn it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So that sucks. Getting the extra sleep is always nice when you sleep through your alarm, but like then you wake up with this like jolt
Panic.
of anxiety and panic.
Yeah.
Exactly right. I hate it.
The bottom of my pyramid is something that I would love if you're a listener who watches the show, please write in because I really need to talk about it with someone. The current season of Drag Race that's happening, it's not a bad season, but I just miss the old seasons. Like when you watch a show and like season 1 just has a certain charm about it, and then as like it gets more popular and the budget gets better, it just kind of loses that like season 1, season 2, because currently Drag Race is in season 17, and
Jesus.
I just rewatched this season with Bianca Del Rio as the winner, and it's like one of my favorite seasons ever. But it's so insane and it's so low budget, and the girls are like really talented and fighting with each other, and now the show is so overproduced because it's so popular, and the girls are very talented, but they're like just not the same. I don't know, and I just miss I miss logo TV and like bullshit like that, and now it's on MTV and has like an actual budget, and it's just kind of annoying. Like I just miss that.
Brutal.
What's the middle of your pyramid?
My middle is my boss is now allowing me to work from home sometimes.
Oh no.
And it's the middle because like I'll get more sleep. Like I won't have to sit in traffic because I drive for like 2 hours a day. It's like 40 minutes there and over an hour home every day.
Yikes,
so I'll get to skip that, so I'll get to sleep more.
Yeah.
I have a lot of tasks that require like my actual undivided attention.
Yeah.
And when I've got a team of like 6 people that all fucking need something, and then I've got a dozen or more coworkers that all like rely on me for things, and I get interrupted constantly.
You have to be the office personality, like
that too. I was making my rounds yesterday.
Working the room, doing your thing.
I was working the room. It's like all that's great. I'll get to like, you know, working from home has a lot of benefits.
Sure.
But for me personally, like it is stressful to me. The very rare occasion that I've like ever been away from work, it is stressful to me because like so many people rely on me for things, and if I'm not there, I can't like help them out.
Right.
They're adults; they'll be okay. But also, like, that just stresses me out.
It's also you're a very regimented person.
Yeah.
And so like creating your own schedule might be a little bit of like a new skill of it, because it's not I am in the office this time to this time on these days and I'm home this time to this time on these days. Now it's like, well, now I have to kind of figure out what works for me and what doesn't.
I mean, it'll be like not even one day a week. It'll be once every like maybe 2 weeks. I'll just take a work from home day, so like it's not going to be a huge thing. I think it'll be mostly good. There'll just be like
I'm just thinking about my middle of the pyramid. Sorry, keep going.
There'll be a learning curve the first little bit.
Sure.
What is your middle, Amanda, that you're very excited to get to?
Okay. The middle of my pyramid is that Justin Bieber's coming out with new music and is going to go on a tour. Here's why it's in the middle of my pyramid. I love Justin Bieber down. His most recent albums have been shit. There have been like some good singles off of them, but since his album Journals, which came out in like 2016, maybe, they've been awful. Like the albums as like a body of work have been terrible. His most recent album, Justice, that came out in 21, is like laughably awful. There are moments in the album that are so insanely stupid. And his like beginning music was obviously very overproduced. It had the backing of Usher. It was like very different, and it was really good because it was being pumped through like a machine of music. And then he like left that team and started doing his own thing, and he was misguided and also hooked on coke and had Lyme's disease, and it was like a whole thing. So he posted some pictures on Instagram of him working with a new producer, making a new album. People have been like talking about it with different like media outlets and like hinting that something's coming in 25 and that he wants to go on a tour, and that he is returning to his sound from Journals for this most recent album, which is great because the song, I don't know, you are not probably very familiar with his discography.
Who is this we're talking about?
But Journals is a great album. That's the album that Confident is on. P.S. That song makes me want to shake my ass. I love that song. But if it's bad, I'm going to be really pissed. Journals is
Would you stop being a fan at that point if it's like three bad albums in a row?
I'll never stop being a fan. Oh, that's not true. I would stop being a fan of him if he was like legitimately problematic. I would stop. But if you have bad music, that doesn't matter. I'll still be a fan. Because he had good music too. Okay. So at what point does the bad outweigh the good? I don't know. Oh, but his Journals album is what earned him the moniker R&Bieber, because it's all R&B music, and it's music to, like, bump uglies to. It's so good. And I'm really hoping that because he has a new team, the music's going to be good again. But if it's not, and I have to go to his concert and the music is ass, I'm going to be so upset.
That would be upsetting, yes.
So, also, everyone in my life is going to be on that Ticketmaster queue to get one ticket. I'm not going to make anybody go with me because I know I'm the only person in my like immediate vicinity who feels this way about Justin Bieber. So like I'm not going to make anybody go with me. But I went to the Jonas Brothers concert a couple years ago with bestie Caitlin, and I had an insanely good time. And I wasn't even like on the Jonas Brothers like that when I was a kid. Like I didn't love them like some other people did, but just like the fun, like it was mostly women in their like 30s just like screaming at a boy band. It was such a fun, like girly experience, and Justin Bieber will be the same way. So even if the album's bad, I still want to go to the concert because I still want to see him and I still want to have that experience. But like, please let that album be good. Please, I need him to put out good music again because the most recent music is ass.
Damn.
The end. What's the top of your pyramid?
Well, you mentioned. Okay, never mind.
Do you want to respond to my Justin Bieber thoughts?
No, I don't.
You gonna shame me?
No,
probably
not at all. No, never mind. I wasn't gonna say anything about Justin Bieber.
What were you gonna say?
I thought that has nothing to do with anything.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's
that
not
tracks.
worth even saying.
Also tracks.
The top of my pyramid is having hobbies.
Love
And
a
you're out
hobby.
here like, oh, it must be so dumb to be a man.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like being a man would be so boring. I don't know.
I am not in the least bit jealous of you going to get your nails done and wandering around Target.
That's fair. I'm not in the least bit jealous of whatever fuck-ass male hobby you claim to have.
Okay, well, I really like... I talk about my dumb little hobbies all the time.
Yeah.
Like going to the gym is a hobby of mine. Playing video games is a hobby of mine.
Sure.
Fantasy football is a hobby of mine. Reading is a hobby of mine.
Sure.
Like I love things where I get to like, I'm not like changing the world necessarily. These aren't like making money hobby. I'm not like constantly on the grind or whatever.
Sure.
But like fully immersing.
Not a side hustle.
No, fully. That's not a hobby. But fully immersing myself into something like frivolous is so fun. It brings me so much joy. And I know that we're currently recording a podcast about watching a TV show, but I don't consider like watching TV to be a hobby. That is just consumption of content. You're sitting there just being a sponge. And I don't consider that to be like, that is not a hobby that I find to be worthwhile for me.
You don't feel that way about football? You don't feel like watching football is a hobby?
That's not a hobby. No.
Oh, what's the difference?
I'm not.
Or you're saying watching football is not a hobby?
Right.
Okay.
Sweet.
I'm just asking a question.
No, that's
Damn.
that's what
I'm
I just
asking
said.
a question. Well, I know that your like participation in watching football is very involved because you like do
It's
fantasy.
something I like doing. It's not a hobby though.
Okay. I was wondering if you considered fantasy football to be a hobby specifically.
Yeah, because that involves other things.
Sure. Okay.
Like the going to the like scheduling a fucking draft and
you have an app.
Creating
you're
all
doing
these,
a thing.
creating all these draft games that we do. Like that is
That's
full-on
the hobby. Sure.
I make like weekly recap videos for the league. Like that all is a hobby. Just sitting there watching football is not a hobby.
Gotcha.
And so like I'm not knocking people who watch TV shows. I've got a buddy, Grant, who like outside of working and being a father, like that is the only thing he does. He doesn't like, they don't travel. He doesn't like do anything. He doesn't produce things. He doesn't whatever. They just sit and watch TV. And I'm like, that's great for them, but holy shit. Like that would be so
Could not be you.
boring. Yeah. Just sitting and consuming things is not how I want to spend time.
Sure.
And so like they are frivolous, but to me they feel very worthwhile. And so like my hobbies are the top of my pyramid.
I love that for you. I feel similarly about TV, but I really like talking about it with other people, and I guess that's the hobby portion. Like when new episodes of Drag Race come out, I wait on Rachel and I watch them and talk about them as things are happening. Severance is the same way, where like I want to watch it. Like, we had a watch party. Like, I want to watch it with people and then talk about it. And yesterday when I was getting brunch with Neely, we were talking about 2 days ago, the next episode of Severance came out, and we were talking about it at brunch, and a table next to us was like, are you guys talking about the new episode of Severance? Like, two women. We were like, yes, and we started talking about fan theories, and then another girl joined that table, and she was like, one of the ladies over there getting water asked me if you guys were talking about Severance. Like, that's the hobby part, the community building part. Sure. Sitting and watching TV is like, whatever, but I want to talk to someone about it.
And the fact that you like know fan theories and stuff.
Yeah,
means,
like I'm on Reddit. I'm watching people.
out here.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen to podcasts about it. Yeah.
But just sitting and like watching The Big Bang Theory and then going on about your evening, like what that.
I'd
what
rather
are we doing
die.
here?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's an awful TV show, and if you watch it, you should stop.
If you love that TV show, I love that for you. I would, however, encourage you to watch it without the laugh track and still think it's funny, because it's very hard to do.
Yeah.
It's funny because there's suggested laughter. It's not funny and standalone.
Comedy.
Yeah, like a content. My top of the pyramid is listening to ASMR at work. I have been doing that recently because work has been very stressful, and I have like noise canceling headphones and I turn on a little ASMR video and somebody's like tapping on their keyboard and whispering to me in the background and like 2 hours will go by.
It sounds frightening.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Trisha Paytas has an ASMR channel and I put that shit on at work and lock the fuck in. Like on a level that I cannot achieve if I'm like listening to anything else in the background. If someone is whispering to me and like tapping on things and like playing with plastic, I like 3 hours will go by and I'm going corporate sicko mode. Like I am locking in, doing my job so good, and it's awesome. That's kind of it.
That is unrelatable to me.
I love it. I knew you.
Holy
I knew
cow.
you would not get into that, and that's fine. Nope. I love it. It's sometimes when I have a hard time sleeping. I had a hard time sleeping last night, and I was like, let me whip out that Trisha Paytas ASMR, and I was honk shoe, me in like 30 seconds. It was awesome.
I love that for you.
The end.
It's not relatable content for me.
So sorry. Okay. Oh, also Ig's not here. Sorry, guys. We just lost half of our viewers. Iggy's not here because Rachel's not here. So Iggy and Rachel are a package deal. So sorry. She might show up at some point in the middle of this, but probably not. Okay, this week we're talking about season 4 episode. What?
I have something. Please hold.
I'm so scared.
I have a surprise for you.
No, you
actually.
don't. No. What? I'm so scared.
We have a listener pyramid.
Slay.
Yes.
Okay, read it out loud.
From Abby. This person wrote in, said, "Hey, Pyramid Pod, just wanted to let you guys know how
Is
much
this on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
How much I love the podcast. I listen to every episode multiple times. Super fan.
Oh, cute.
And it gives me absolute life. Shout outs for positive content. Sending you both love, except for Eli. I can't bully anyone. Also sending love to Eli.
No, fuck Eli. Fuck that
Yay.
man. I hate that man.
And then
My number one up.
Abby says, my listener pyramid this week is bottom of the pyramid is the flu. Period.
Yes, you screenshotted this and sent it to me. Yes.
The middle of the pyramid is that my birthday was Tuesday and it was fun, but then I got sick because I was around too many people. Yeah, this is your lesson to just stay away from other people.
True.
Top of the pyramid are dogs. Her dog's picture attached for reference. And
I'm going to put it right here.
They are very cute.
They are the cutest dogs I've probably ever seen in my life.
Look at these little dogs. Oh, my God. Also, your couch looks very similar to mine, so you have good taste.
Wait, to your couch or to my couch?
My couch.
Oh.
Fuck your couch. No.
Abby, right in, girl.
Right. And she also says Iggy is the best addition to the pod. My new favorite part. That's what reminded me.
Very true. Yeah, Iggy's she's booked. You know what I mean? She can't just be here all the time available for us.
She's a working girl.
She's booked and blessed. Oh, actually, she is. She and Rachel's mom are getting their photos taken today.
That's hilarious.
And Iggy has a sweater and a brand new collar. Oh, and Iggy, she did a little fashion show the other day here. It was the cutest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Oh.
Yeah. So Iggy actually is a working girl. She's booked and blessed.
That's hilarious.
Okay. This week we're talking about season 4, episode 11, Blame It on the New Girl. Previously on, last week, the girlies got their 9th win in a row, and it was a very big deal. Hooray. Also, we had this weird moment of Jeanette and her daughter, like, appearing, and then her being like, fuck you bitches, my child is more talented. It's, like, very strange.
Yes.
But they just, like, the audition, like, arc keeps popping up.
Uh-huh.
And then, Kira is trying to get a solo for Kalani, and then they had like a falling out in the hallway, and it was like a whole thing.
Yeah, even though Kalani was totally like, no, it's fine.
Kalani was like, she wants me to do a solo, and I'm not going to because you told me not to.
That's the kind of kid you want to keep around.
I know.
Abby has kept moms around way longer
than they should have been.
Yeah.
When they've done way worse things.
All right.
This week we're in Pittsburgh, and we're hearing about, like, immediately we're shown Abby and G at the front desk, and they're talking about a new girl named Fallon, and how Abby wants to bring her in, and Abby in her talking head says that Fallon was at their Orlando audition, and she can't stop thinking about her, which really did not love that phrasing, but whatever.
Also, there was some time later in my notes, and I'll find it, I'm sure, that as I was typing Fallon, I wrote Jimmy as like a little joke to myself. Just like, hey, Eli, you're going to giggle at this later.
You're insane. Like,
yeah.
You need to see a doctor. Fallon and her mom Cheryl joined the squad this week. And Fallon and Cheryl are here, and all the other girlies and their moms go into the mirror room for, like, you know, the pyramid and group rehearsal and all that. Let's see.
More like the mirror mid.
All the other girls and moms are in the same room. Okay, true. I don't know why I wrote that, but that is true. That's so strange. Abby introduces Fallon and Cheryl to, like, the rest of the girls, and she's like, Fallon, tell us a couple of things about yourself. And Fallon starts rattling off her acclimates. And that's
her accolades.
Or accolades. I always get accolades and acclimate confused.
Yeah, she lists off her accolades and accomplishments, and Abby just goes, "And you're 11 now? Like, why don't you tell us things about who you are as a human being?"
Yeah, and she's like, "No, the only thing I am is a dance robot.
I have no personality whatsoever.
No
I
hobbies.
Dance. That's
so
all I
sad.
do." Yeah.
Abby tells everyone, like, I've brought in Fallon because I'm building a new team, which is a vague threat that she brings up when it is convenient for her.
Well, she brought it up,
but, like, since when?
More seriously, like a season ago or something.
Right. Like, since when this season have we talked about building a new team?
I don't know, dude.
Outside of Kelly and the Highland girls disappearing.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
Like, since when? Kalani's not here this week, and Abby says that it's because her mom doesn't understand the rules, which sounds like she killed them.
Yeah.
She's like, she's gone because they just couldn't handle it, and they don't understand the rules. And I killed them, and I buried them in the backyard.
She didn't play the game.
Yeah. So they're just not here this week. They have their 9th straight win. Oh my god, sorry. I'm getting really bad acid reflux from the coffee I was, like, chugging earlier. Going for 10, because 10 wins consecutively is the longest, like, winning streak that this team has had. So we really want to.
Well, they've never had 10 wins, actually.
Right.
9
it would be the
longest.
But 10 would also then be the longest after 9.
It'd be the new longest. You said 10 is the longest.
10 would be the longest. Sorry. 10 would be the longest. Okay, the Pyramid of Children. The bottom, I kept expecting Kalani to be on the pyramid because that's what Abby used to do for the Highland girls when they were, like, being awful. She would put them at the bottom and be like, you know, whatever. Kalani's not on the pyramid this week.
Well, she's not there.
I know, but to me, that feels like more serious. Yeah. Because with the Highland girls, she would at least keep them on the pyramid and be like, they're on probation. And she did that with Kendall a couple times. Yeah. But for Kalani, she's just not there. So Kendall is the worst child for seemingly no reason.
No, she got 9th last week.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Because she sucks.
Because she fucking sucks. No, just kidding. Chloe is next, and Abby says that she was disappointed in her improv and that weird improv challenge.
Even though she finished in the top 3. What are we doing here?
I know, just shitting on Chloe constantly.
This poor child.
It makes me think there's a clip of Dance Moms in one of the last seasons where Abby says something about, you know, sometimes in life you just can't always get what you want. And she makes an offhanded comment and she says, I never wanted Chloe to win, and that girl won all the time. So, like, when she does shit like this, it makes me think that was just her attitude the whole time. Yes. Like, she just never wanted that kid to win.
Crazy,
and Chloe kept winning.
Abby likes winners. Why wouldn't you, like, try and foster? Like, you would think that Chloe would be like, Chloe never talks back.
Yeah.
She learns dances fast.
You would think she'd be like, that's my student, right?
She's
like,
really good. Yeah, Abby, that's the exact kind of child that you want to put a little bit of effort into and then take all the credit. That's your favorite thing to do.
Yeah, it's so weird to me. And then Nia, because she was the first to get booted from improv. Now,
which is crazy.
Why is Chloe not higher than Nia?
I'll tell you why.
You know what I mean?
Because Abby knows that Chloe is good and Nia isn't.
Yeah, it's an interpersonal thing. There's reason.
So Nia's just kind of there, right. But Abby wants to make a point to punish Chloe.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like a good teacher would.
You know, like a really well-rounded and healthy educator.
Yeah.
The middle level, the first one up is Mackenzie. She did a great job in the group dance and her characterization of the character that she played.
She was freaking out a lot, so that's good.
Yeah, also she had the chance to be a great character because you gave her butt-ass choreography. So she had a second to, like, you know, make funny faces because her choreography was shit. And then the next person on the pyramid is Fallon.
Jill immediately rolls her eyes.
And I have in all caps, what the hell, I hate it here.
And Holly in her talking head says, pyramid is for the team and how you performed the week before. Why is Fallon here for either of those reasons?
Excellent question, Dr. Holly.
She checks neither box.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so scary, too, because, like, Abby is really just doing whatever the hell she wants constantly. There is, like, Kalani's not on the pyramid, even though historically girls who are, like, you know, not in good graces with Abby are still on the pyramid. This girl who, like, just randomly showed up is the second to top person on the pyramid for no reason. Like, I don't know. It's just very disorienting, and I hate it here. Cheryl pipes up and is like, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity, which I don't necessarily blame her for at this point.
That's playing the game properly.
You're playing the game. You're kissing ass. That's fair. And then Holly, oh my God, I need to talk about Drag Race with somebody who's not you. There's a moment in Drag Race where one of the girls says in her talking head, she says, America, my face is telling you everything you need to know. .com. And that .com. And Holly,
what is this, 2002?
At the time it was 2010 probably.
Oh my God.
At Holly's face, America's telling you everything you need to know .com. It is really, really not it. She's kind of pissed. And then the top of the pyramid is Maddie Dutt. There's no Kalani at all on this pyramid. This week we're going to Intensity Dance in Toledo, Ohio with Rotten Apples, which I'm so excited. I love Kathy. We were talking about this as we were watching it. I love Kathy.
You and I have
She's so
such
crazy.
differing opinions on Kathy.
I love Kathy.
I cannot stand her.
I love her.
I feel such disdain for that woman.
She is my sister in, I was saying this earlier, in Delusion and Being Fabulous. Oh my God. Her outfits are incredible for the time period that they, are in.
That's fine.
And her delusional confidence is aspirational. I love Kathy.
She's just so dumb.
Her. I love her so much.
She's so dumb.
Oh shit, I forgot to start a timer. Oh well. We'll just go until the battery dies. Let's see. Going to Ohio. And Abby says, like, we're on the streak. We want to keep winning. And then she says, can you imagine what your life is going to be like if you don't beat her? Terrifying. What an insanely disorienting thing.
Until just now.
Yeah,
actually.
and like your whole life, right? Not just like, can you imagine how awful rehearsal's going to be?
Well,
your life will fall to bits.
I think she means your life in this dance studio.
I don't know. I think she means, well, they don't really have a life outside of that. But yeah, I'll cut you up.
Those are two very different. Egg your house, murder you.
Cut you up. The group this week is called, the group dance is called Red with Envy, and Mackenzie is allowed to learn the choreography but isn't going to be in it.
That is such a that normally would have started a fight.
She says, you can stay and learn the choreography, but for the group number, you might sit this one out.
Yeah.
Huh? And
then nothing else happens.
Why are you looking at the computer?
Because I like watching it.
Oh my God.
Look how loud you are.
You have with peace and love, you have the brain of a goldfish.
Look at it.
No, I'm not.
Look at it.
Because I like watching the waveform is crazy.
Did you ever watch, I think it was the first Fantasia movie.
Yes.
When there's the sound wave that's like shy and the guy's like coaxing it out. That scratches the weirdest part of
Fantasia.
My brain. That scene specifically.
The broom one gets me, where they're walking down the stairs.
I mean, they're all delightful. Like, like every
animating
part of that,
to music is awesome.
Yeah, every part of that, like the storytelling and everything is so good. But the sound wave one really like scratches a great part of my. I'm just like, oh yucks! They do it perfectly.
Yeah,
perfectly.
That's amazing. Anyway, Fallon gets a solo this week.
Which,
crazy.
What the shit?
Crazy and unwarranted, and also wild and crazy. And then Kendall also gets a solo that was supposed to be a joke. So annoying. Kendall also gets a solo this week because she needs to redeem herself from 9th place last week. Also, you guessed it, clock it, crazy. Because normally Abby, if you get 9th place, Abby like won't talk to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
So it's interesting that she's giving Kendall a second chance.
Well, and Jill starts to complain for whatever reason. Just like as though like the solo is to punish Kendall or whatever, which Jill, you just can't win with this woman. No. She complains if she doesn't get a special part. She complains if she does. It's all fucking complaining. Abby just like tries to shut her down, and then Jill out of fucking nowhere asks, "Oh, Abby, how's your mom doing?"
Kissing ass. And Abby even says, "Oh, look, now she's trying to kiss my butt."
Yep.
And she's like, "Actually, my mom's not doing well. Thanks for asking."
Thanks for bringing it up, Jill.
She like really like brings down the mood. And so Jill is like, well, what if all the girls went to, like, the facility where she lives and tries to cheer her up? And Abby's like, well, we can do a thing for all the residents, and if my mom is feeling well enough to come and sit and watch, that would be great.
Yeah.
But Abby, like, doesn't really want to talk about this, like, because this is a human emotion. She's not a big fan of showing those.
Something she's not familiar with.
Something she's not familiar with. Also, Melissa in the background, I don't know if you noticed this, she's crying. As soon as someone brings up Abby's mom, she starts crying.
Oh my God, Melissa.
I need like an actual real investigation into their codependent friendship. Like, that is wild to me. And Abby didn't bring it up and say, like, I have a health update, things are taking a turn for the worse. It's not that. Someone just asks how she's doing and she's already crying. Like, it seems very codependent to me, and I just kind of need their perspective, Melissa's perspective specifically on that relationship.
I'll tell you this, it's an unstable one.
Sorry, I keep making like the grossest mouth sounds.
I'm more concerned by how you just said sorry.
Sorry? I didn't say sorry.
You kind of did.
I meant to say sorry. I'm going to get a glass of water in a second.
Sick with being Canadian?
No. It's down with the sickness for the thickness, probably.
Down with the thickness, yeah.
Okay, the moms go upstairs to the Lido deck and the group rehearsal begins. Abby says that this number is strong and athletic. Do you have a joke in there about how that's also you?
No.
Oh. Annoying. Also, I just gave you a free joke and you said no.
You can't set it up like that. Also.
Oh, that's right, because you're always so good at coming up with jokes by yourself.
I am,
You
yes,
don't need
thank you.
my assistance at all from LeBron James.
Also,
you don't need that at all.
A joke about it's not a joke. I'm in decent shape.
Oh, okay, we can stop there. No. This is like gonna make a joke, not just like bragging on yourself. Something there. I don't know. It seemed like there was good material there for you to make a joke, and then it didn't happen. So
I didn't consider it good material, but I appreciate the attempt.
Don't start this with me. Moms go upstairs. The exchange that happens next is my favorite that I've seen in a hot minute from the moms. So they're talking to Cheryl, the new girl, Fallon's mom, and they're like firing off these questions at her. And Melissa says, I want to know how old you are. And Jill says, you don't have to answer that. And then Christy, who's drinking wine, clock it, in the morning, out of a tumbler, drinking wine out of a wine glass tumbler. She says, I want to know if you have fake boobs. And Jill says, you don't have to answer that either. And that really made me giggle the first and second time I saw it. And Cheryl says she does not have fake boobs. And she's in her, quote, middle 40s. I don't know what middle 40s is.
No, the fuck she is not.
That is so mean.
No, she
Y'all
is not.
Y'all are so mean to this woman.
She is not in her mid-40s. Amanda.
I don't know anything about being in her mid-40s.
Do you think she's in her mid-40s?
Well, okay, as someone who is in their mid-40s, you might be a better judge of that, but I am young and vivacious.
That's how you set someone up for a joke.
I'm young and vivacious, so I don't know anything about being in my middle 40s. But that's something that you know a lot about.
It'll happen.
I did, kind of tweak my knee earlier, like a couple days ago. And I was like, I'm getting old, dude.
That's how it starts.
It's so true.
No, see, it's not going to bother you for like the next couple of years. Like you're not going to.
My knee?
Yeah. You tweak it a little and you're like, whatever, it's fine a day or two later. Mm-hmm. Then you're 32 or so and you're like, my knee feels a little weird.
Oh, well, 32 is still a long way off for me. So.
You'll see.
So.
You'll see.
Okay, we cut to being in Ohio. And hear me out, I miss Anthony. I kind of miss him a little bit. I wish he were here and he's not. It makes me sad.
I thought he was a pretty good teacher.
Yeah, he seemed very normal. He seemed like a little kind of like, he seemed like a typical like creative person, but he did not seem, I don't think he made for good TV, which is why they didn't keep him around because he was too normal.
I don't know about that. He argued with Kathy plenty.
I know, but I think which
is what they want.
He would get like genuinely frustrated and not just like, oh, it's okay, we can come back and do it again next week, LOL, haha, whatever. Like Kathy can with Abby. He was like probably too real for them.
This is insane.
Yeah, I actually hate it here. Stop looking at the computer.
Well, all your spikes are so much. I'm just worried that my sound isn't going to be loud enough.
It's because you have a lower register than I do, so the waveforms look different.
I don't know.
Because your voice is deeper than mine.
Okay.
Do you want me to turn you up some more?
No.
Okay. You want me to turn me down some more?
No.
Okay.
I would never try and silence women.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That was actually really funny, and that's so annoying. Because that's what I was gonna say. If you said turn yourself down, I was gonna say not you trying to silence women. Fuck, that's so annoying.
Someday you'll be as quick as I am.
I
Something about a sex joke being too fast. Bang.
No,
beats to it there, too.
quivering in fear at the idea of my comedic timing being like yours. Shaking in my boots at the thought of that reality. Absolutely.
Girl, you're not even wearing boots.
Girl, don't with me. Don't. Girl, no. Okay, anyway, we're in Ohio. We have a guest choreographer. Her name's Erin. Great. We're doing a song or doing a dance this week that's called The Last Dance, and it's about abandonment and loss.
Well, I thought it was
because
because Kathy was going to murder them if they didn't beat the ALDC.
So she says, I want them to dance like it's the last time, and if they don't win, it might be. I'm 95% sure that the producers have also fed that exact same line to Abby.
Yeah.
That sounds like something Abby definitely has said. Because, like, they had that number about the last text, and I wonder if maybe at some point that line of, like, and if they don't win, it might be the last dance or whatever. I don't know. It just seemed like a straight-up Abby Lee Miller quote.
Also totally unrelated, but Erin, the choreographer for the Candy Apples, she can absolutely get it.
Yeah, she's hot.
That's it, yeah. Oh, Amanda's dying.
Sorry.
You guys are going to be stuck with me. What a disaster of a podcast that would be.
Awful fate.
And finally, the straight white man resumes his throne at the top of the podcasting world.
Anytime that we're like going, yeah, that's what the podcast scene needs is another straight white male voice.
That was almost the first thing I said on the first episode that I was on.
It's true. Oh my god, that's like, back when we were friends and not mortal enemies like we are now. I need to go back and re-listen to our first episode when you were just a guest.
I think
you need to go back and listen to that
it's
again.
episode like 6 or 7 or something like that.
Yeah, it became pretty immediate that I needed someone who could make me look really good, and so I called you. I was like, I need someone to like.
What can I say? I'm a man of many talents.
Ew, annoying.
You see, you tried to set me up for a gym joke. This is how it happens. This is what happens. This is what you asked for.
I will say, to be actually very genuine. I was editing last week's episode, and at the very beginning, I like say the word fuck very loudly, and you're sitting there like texting or whatever, and I go fuck, and you go like this, you go, and you like keep going, like my like screaming was just a lot, but there's like it doesn't register with your conscious brain, and I thought to myself like that man puts up with a lot of shit from me. He comes over to my house once a week and willingly is like berated and bullied within an inch of his life, and then is like, see you next week, bye. Like, it's very.
This was great. We'll do it again.
I did register week. Like he really puts up with a lot of my bullshit. Like that's actually a lot.
That's funny.
Okay, the Candy Apples are hungry for a win and they want to bury Abby. Whatever. Okay, we go back to Pennsylvania. We're learning this routine in 2 days, which is
what they always do, though.
Yeah, it's probably very common, but they do bring it up a lot. And Abby tells them that they're going up against scum, and so they have to win.
Yeah, that was a lot.
And there's a commercial.
I just realized in my notes I spelled girls Gurls.
Girl.
Girl.
When we come back from commercial, we are at a hospice center. Abby says hospice. The sign outside says senior living, but I'm not gonna. I mean, whatever. There's no reason to find that line. You know, it could be that there's both services within the same facility, so who knows. But she says that her mom's in hospice. Abby goes into her mom's room with the girls to like visit, and Broadway Baby, the dead dog, is stuffed and is on her mom's bed.
There was a lot about this scene.
So gross.
Yeah, there's a lot about this scene that I really didn't like. I didn't like that. I also
slow zoom in on the dog.
I didn't love. I don't know how to say this without. But like, I didn't like putting her mom on screen. It seemed like she very much was not.
It seems a little exploitative.
Totally, she wasn't like totally there.
Yeah.
They chopped it up like and edited it to make it seem like it was relatively like a cognizant conversation stuff, but it was pretty clear that she was not all the way there.
I think it kind of begets a question of consent, where like if these are adults that aren't super well, I don't know if they are well enough to give consent in this moment. This is like kind of odd to me. That's kind of
what I was thinking.
And it was kind of sweet. Nia does a death drop at the end. They go like one by one and do solos.
They dance for all the residents and stuff.
And Nia does a death drop at the end, which I just think is so funny. And then at the end, one of the older residents like gets up and kind of starts like shaking her tail feather a little bit, and now that's very sweet. They seem to enjoy it. I don't know.
She like dances with Chloe, and Chloe hugs her because Chloe's just like the fucking one of the best kids. She's awesome.
Yeah, it was a little the tone of this moment is very odd. Where, like, it's supposed to be very positive, but I don't know. I just feel weird about it.
I didn't like the one-on-one with her mom. I thought Dancing for All the Residents was fun, though.
Sure. Yeah. It is probably very much a break in their day, something different, all that jazz. We go back to the mirror room at the studio for Fallon's solo rehearsal, and Christy and Melissa are upstairs being, in my opinion, a little rude about about Fallon's mom's age, about Cheryl's age. Because they're talking about her behind her back and, like, making jokes about her having work done. And then they're like, well, Jill also gets work done. But, like, I don't know. Well, it's just very 2010s of them.
Yeah, they said that Cheryl looks 10 years older than Jill. And Jill says, well, we all know that Jill likes to keep herself fresh.
Or Melissa says that. You said Jill says that. You said Jill says that about Jill. Either Melissa or Christy says. Well, Jill likes
Christy says Jill likes to keep herself fresh.
Which is funny.
That's
kind of a funny way to frame it. But, like, I don't know. It's just weird. The way that they talk about bodies and age and all that is just annoying to me.
Abby yells at Fallon for forgetting part of her dance that she literally just taught her.
Yeah.
So we're setting up for later.
Yeah. And then the moms are bullshitting about what they think Fallon's going to bring to the competition. Like, she's a new girl. She's unknown. We don't know how she's going to fit in. We don't know if she's going to stick around. We go back to Ohio. Gavin is their little boy soloist this week. And
she's just always got a new cast of little boys. I only
recognized one dude in this, or one student in this squad this week.
She had a little, like a couple kids that were there for a while. It was like Gino, and they changed names. Lennon, and another person, I think.
Lennon was the only one that I recognized this week.
No, but there were like in the past,
yeah.
Where like the Candy Apple's parents were super involved.
Yeah,
Rick was there.
Rick and his kids slid around on his head all the time.
Yeah.
Was that kid's name? Was it Gino?
Jalen.
Yeah,
it was like those kids. Yeah, Gino, Jalen, and Lennon.
Yeah.
I thought there was another one, but they were like all there for a while, and but outside of that little chunk, it's just been a rotating cast of characters. Kathy's just got a new troop every week.
Yeah, truly. And Kathy says that Gavin is quick as a bunny, picking things up, and looks great, and is a Turner, and that's great. We go back to Pennsylvania, and we're seeing Kendall's solo rehearsal, and Abby in her talking head says that Kendall is going up against Fallon, and that's going to put a fire under her.
Totally.
Sure. Jill in her talking head says that this is an opportunity for Kendall to redeem herself. Duh.
Totally.
And then Abby in rehearsal tells Kendall if she's not in the top 5, there's no more solos for her. It's very like, duh. This whole moment is very rinse and repeat from all the shit that we've been hearing about Kendall going up against Chloe or Chloe going up against Maddie or whatever. It's the same shit, different day.
Yeah. Melissa, I think, forces a compliment about Kendall, but it sounds like she's
white knuckling her way through complimenting another kid.
It really sounds like she's being held at gunpoint because she says, "I don't think Fallon has anything close to Kendall." Like, oh my God, spit it out.
Yeah,
it's just
like
so
come on, Melissa. Yeah.
Ugh.
Complimenting another child is very unnatural for her. We go back to Ohio, and Kathy's seeing her kids in rehearsal. They're doing their very normal thing that they've always been doing. Kathy's like, we really need to be further along. We need to turn it around quick if we're going to win.
Well, she
very
gives
normal stuff.
A comment that I gave a lot as a marching band instructor is that, like, guys, we can't be working on fundamentals right now.
Yeah.
We have to be working on performing.
Right.
I can't be, like in marching band, I can't be reminding you all, remember, we step off with our left foot. That should have been done in like
your
August.
Freshman year. Yeah, you should have known that already.
That's an early August conversation. We're
right.
now at our second competition in September.
Right.
Why am I still talking about this?
Yeah, I used to get that way with kids in theater about learning your lines. Rehearsal is not the time to learn your lines. That's shit that you do at home and in study hall. When you get here, this is your time with me and your other directors who are helping you learn blocking and choreography and characterization. But your baseline, knowing what to say, we shouldn't be doing that in a rehearsal. You should be doing that at home. We're in Pennsylvania again, and we're seeing Fallon solo, and Abby makes a guts and butts comment that I really, really hate. And it's just shocking to me that someone spoke to a girl in this way. Like,
yeah,
how the fuck was this a good idea? To tell her, like, she's 11.
It's keeping things, like, tight and flexed and everything is one thing, but saying your gut and butt are hanging out. I've got enough gut and butt for both of us.
You're 11 years old. You don't have a gut. What are you talking about? Like,
well, you can
what
flex
are you
your
talking
abs.
about?
What I'm saying is you can give that feedback correctly. You can
just
say,
fix your posture.
Flex your abs.
But like, gut is just not it. And I know she's doing it to make it rhyme and to be like funny and whatever. But it's so irritating to me that that's genuinely something that was at the time considered a constructive piece of feedback. That's so frustrating to me. That child is 11 years old. Yep. And to add insult to injury, almost 2 million people watched this episode when it first premiered. I clocked the numbers earlier. Imagine how many of those people were young, impressionable girls who heard that comment.
The majority.
Like, you're not just saying it to that one student. In this case, you're on national television. You're making that comment to anyone who's watching, specifically young girls who are like, finding identity and aspiration within the Dance Moms cast. Shut the fuck up, and fuck you, Lifetime editors, for not cutting that shit out. Okay.
Right, the camera cut out, and go with anger.
Fuck you, Lifetime editors, for not cutting that out. I know that you want to keep it in the name of like good TV and like, look at how awful this woman is. I can't believe there are so many other things to keep in that would demonstrate how awful she is. And I know that there are some things that y'all did cut out, because there are several conversations that we have seen on this television program that don't make any fucking sense. And it's because your editors are back in the studio, Edward Scissorhands style, chopping up footage and making it good TV. You could have cut that comment out and you didn't. And fuck you, Lifetime editors. That's crazy. Ugh, I hate that body stuff, dude. That shit is so like, it's so annoying because like, people, myself included, are actively deconstructing their own internalized fat phobia every fucking day of their lives. And it's so frustrating to see media that we consumed as kids as just this flippant butts and guts comment, whatever. But like, those comments stacked together over time has a degenerative effect on self-image. And it's just annoying to see it and see the thing that you internalized as a child be passed off as something very blasé and like, it's just like annoying. Like, she's just no. We know from this perspective in the year 2025, these girls suffered at the hands of this woman. You could have cut some of this out and not put that on other people, but you didn't. You kept it in because it's good TV. And that can be said about a lot of different things, but me personally, the cord is specifically, plucked with fat phobia. That shit pisses me off for real. I hate this. I was just having a conversation with Rachel like a couple days ago about I, at almost the ripe age of 29, am still deconstructing fat phobia. And like, it will never be a thing I don't think about. It will always be a thing that I'm aware of and that I'm always deconstructing. And to see it in media as something that's a joke or like, look at how awful this woman is when you could have just cut that shit out, is so irritating to me, and it will never not bother me. The mom saying it about Abby is annoying and is wrong, but it doesn't bother me as much as hearing an adult person say that to a young 11-year-old girl. That's crazy to me. I hate that shit. I really hate that shit. Anyway, Melissa's in her talking head talking about Fallon, and she's like, Fallon's having a hard time picking up choreography, and I just don't think that Fallon's a good match for our team, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The moms are upstairs.
See, do you notice how like naturally she rattled off talking shit about the kid?
Yeah.
And how
I don't think she's a good fit. She fucking sucks, actually.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, you had that one loaded in the chamber for days.
It just happens more naturally for her.
Yeah. Than the comment. Yeah.
Yes.
I have in my notes, moms upstairs stoning. They are applying stones to costumes, but I just thought the word stoning was funny. Cheryl getting a little nervy about her girl Fallon and about how whether or not she's gonna be able to keep up. And then Jill says, "If I were you, I would be nervous," which is so
Thanks,
messy.
Jill. Very helpful.
Well, you're a new girl coming into a winning team, and that can be a lot for a new person. And I don't know, like if I were you, like that's just something that I would be thinking about. Like, Jill, that is so messy, bitch. Like what are you doing?
Thanks.
Abby's like, I'm gonna leave and take a phone call. So she walks out of rehearsal, and then she just goes upstairs. She's saying, I'm gonna take a phone call to lie. Also, an insanely awful lie, because when she goes up to the Lido deck, the girls can see her.
Right.
Girl, that front wall is made out of glass. We all know you're not on the phone. You could have just said, I'm gonna go upstairs and talk shit on your mom, and that would have been, or to your mom, and that would have been fine.
I wonder how different the show might be if the Lido deck window was tinted.
Or one way only.
Just a one way, exactly.
Oh yeah, that would be crazy. It's just the moms seeing themselves, actually. And the girls are watching their moms. And Abby says, I wish that Kalani was here. And Cheryl's like, why? And Abby says, because she's a much stronger dancer than your daughter, and she's gorgeous.
Yeah, the gorgeous thing. Just like because she's a better dancer, is like, okay, it's shitty for one reason, but like that would make sense why she's saying it. But also, like, this kid's just way hotter than yours. Like, okay, fucking what?
A,
that's
dude.
insane.
It's awful. And then Cheryl says, so you're calling my daughter ugly and weak. And Abby says, you said that, not me. Well, you implied it.
Yeah, you very heavily implied it,
You
Abby.
all but said it. Like, you basically said it. And Cheryl's like, well, if you haven't known Fallon, you haven't invested any time in her, and she's doing her best, and she starts getting a little emotional.
Abby even says, like, we don't have time. She's 11.
Also,
you have
do
so
have
much time.
Yeah, like, that's just not true.
You have nothing but time.
Right. And then Cheryl starts crying, and Abby calls her out for crying. She's like, are you crying? And she's like, yeah, you're insulting my kid.
Well, yeah, she's like, are you crying? And she gets this evil gleam in her eye when she sees weakness in one of the moms, or they start getting emotional or whatever. Just the fucking ravenous, like, hunger. She looks like
pounces,
a wolf about to attack, dude. It's
is awful.
Crazy.
Pour one out for the easy criers. I see you. I cry so easily, and I cry when I get angry, which is like one of my only weaknesses, one of my only flaws.
And the fact that you used to be in love with Jake Paul.
Why did you have to say that? That's the meanest thing you've ever said to me.
It's not.
Don't bring that up. He went to the inauguration recently.
So did Bernie Sanders.
Well, that's different. But Jake Paul went voluntarily.
Yeah, he really wanted to go.
God, Bernie Sanders had to go because he's a senator.
He looked so unhappy in that picture. That shit's so funny. Liza?
You remember back in the old days when I used to say, if you can hear my cat in the background, it's because she has a bow in her collar and she's too cute for me to take it off.
We have not heard. Oh, God. She is
so
still
cute. Don't worry.
Oh, she's
Pat the couch next to you.
She's not going to go
out. Not even worth it. My, come here. Come here, little.
She's thinking about it. Come here.
No.
She's looking at my hand.
That's my daughter. An inherent distrust of men. Correct.
Liza, I've done nothing but give you love.
No, it doesn't matter. You're a man, and that's an automatic disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Anyway, that's annoying. An easy crier. I see you, Cheryl. I feel your struggle. Abby leaves the Lido deck. She's like, "Fuck your kid," basically.
Really Cheryl in her feelings?
No, because that's not funny. Nope, I absolutely would not. We cut to being on the bus, and the moms and the girls are slightly asleep, and Abby's like, all right, girls, time to wake up. We gotta, get our ass in gear. And Abby's talking through costumes, and she's like, do you have this? Do you have this? And it comes to light that Cheryl forgot Fallon's costume at the stew.
She's like, oh, I wasn't aware that we were supposed to bring the costumes. And Abby's like, what the fuck do you mean you didn't know that?
Liza, stop chewing on the blinds, please. Just chewing on the plastic blinds.
Liza, it's okay. She yells at me when I do it too.
Yeah, she's like, well, I didn't know I was supposed to bring it. What do you mean you didn't know if you were supposed to bring it? What do you mean?
Is this your first time?
Your kid's gonna go out in sweatpants? What are you talking about?
I will say this is the second time this has happened with someone from another studio.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me think that a lot of other studios,
they don't do that.
The instructors handle all of it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That really is what it feels like.
Holly's face also makes me giggle. America's telling you everything you need to know.com once again, where she's like, Melissa says, yeah, but that's your costume. And Holly goes, she is trying not to laugh. It was really funny.
When they get to the competition, even
fans.
Holly literally said, yeah, all the screaming fans, was crazy. But Holly, they're sitting in the green room, kind of getting ready, and Holly's like, we figured you'd know some of these things.
Yeah, we figured you might know what's going on. She says, it seems like we're always playing catch up.
Yeah.
Which is such a read.
Instead of playing mustard.
Okay. It's also a weird venue. I looked this up because I was just like,
It's
so
like a house.
So it's the Collingwood Arts Center in Toledo, Ohio. It's an old house that they have added, different additions onto. And like one of them's an auditorium, and there's like classrooms, and it's like a public center for the arts. It started out as a house. What?
Nothing.
No, say it.
Well, you said they'd added on an auditorium. They could call it the Additorium.
Okay, great.
Really nailed that one,
Oh
Liza.
my God.
Liza,
come over here and bite this man.
Liza, do it.
She's like, actually, no one's gonna tell me what to do. Fuck you guys.
Liza. She just could not be less interested.
No. Abby says that she went to what looks like TJ Maxx to find a bunch of dresses that Fallon could wear. And
Sure.
Abby says this really gross comment about how Fallon's like an orphan because she's like, someone's doing her makeup, someone else is doing her costume.
Just a charity case.
Yeah. Ooh. And, we're not talking about, it couldn't be teamwork or like helping out a sister. No,
Yeah.
It's that everyone is for themselves all the time.
The thing is, so much of the framing, like Abby's not wrong all the time.
True.
Upsettingly
Upsettingly
but the problem
true.
is, most of the time, sometimes she's just being shitty, but a lot of the time, like she just takes the most, like the shittiest interpretation.
Yeah.
And course of action in any given situation ever.
Yeah.
Most of the time, like you could turn almost anything that happens into a net positive.
True.
Into like a really helpful, constructive learning experience.
True.
Into like right now, like you said it perfectly. Like look at all of us like working together.
Yeah.
If one mistake happens, the rest of the team's gonna pick you back up. That would be so easy to say. And Abby's like, instead, I'm gonna do the exact opposite of that and cut you and everyone else down. This is gonna be so much fun for me.
Yeah. And Abby's like, hasn't she been dancing since she was 3? And Cheryl's like, no, she's been dancing since she was 8. And Abby goes, well, there's your first mistake.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a lose-lose there.
Yeah, whatever.
Also, you've still been dancing for 3 years. You should know to bring the solo costume.
You could have known that after your first competition. It shouldn't have taken you that long to remember that.
Seriously.
The candy apples are getting ready, and Gavin is like rehearsing, and then Kendall's also rehearsing in the ALDC room. Like we kind of get some shots back and forth. And Abby says that this has the potential to be a huge disaster. Huge. We move into the auditorium to like perform, obviously. I don't know why I worded it like that. Gavin goes first. I do wish that man would wear a shirt. And I know it's not his fault for not wearing a shirt. I know that's his instructor's fault.
We've talked about this before. She sounds like she's getting into some shit.
She's going nuts on those blinds over there.
Yeah. We've talked about this before that like I understand that
Liza.
like, things in dance, you want to like be able to see like all the lines and the movement
Sure.
and the flexing and the whatever else.
Wear a tank top.
So yeah, you could like still wear a form-fitting top.
Wear something made out of spandex.
You don't have to be naked.
No. He turns a lot. He does a lot of turns, and he does a good job. And then we get to a commercial. That's
you watched as I watched this episode.
It was, oh my God,
so
funny. He steps out on stage, skip. Like, not
applause. Here we go.
Yeah, like.
Seems like he did well.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Then we come back from commercial and we get Kendall's solo. She does a good job. She has some weird facial expressions. She's no, like, actor, but it's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
I love Vivi being there with Kathy.
I forgot
mouth
about
breathing,
her. Just
head empty, no thoughts. Being an actual child,
Yes.
like not a performance robot, but just sitting.
Yeah.
And thinking like, I really hope that I can go get Airheads Extremes and a Sprite after this next number is over. You know what I mean? Just like
I want to have a blue tongue.
I really want some Sour Punch straws, and I'm gonna ask my mom if I can have Sour Punch straws and a Dr. Pepper after this number's over. Like that kind of thing. I love that shit.
Hell yeah.
Jill says that Kendall deserves first place, and I don't know about that, but she does a good job, I guess. Then we see Fallon. She does this like creepy doll thing that's like so tired and old, in my opinion. Similar to how I feel about Eli. The music is also a little hard to follow for Fallon because there's no words. It's just like percussive sounds.
We've talked about this before.
Similar to how I also feel about you and like the commentary that you provide to the podcast.
Just gonna get up and leave if that's cool with you. Now we've talked about the Winter Guard routine from 1997 or whatever, where it's called Dante's Inferno.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the show is like that. A lot of the music to it is like that, where there's no actual.
You're just like
music
counting in your brain because there's no musical cue at all.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
But so like there is and it actually was not dissimilar to the music that Fallon is dancing to.
Yeah.
In this one.
Yeah.
Give me flashbacks.
Seems like it'd be really difficult.
Yeah.
Cheryl is like, oh shit, she forgot some of her dance. She's making this up.
You can tell very clearly at one point she like kind of stops for a half second and then just like hesitantly goes through a couple other movements, and Cheryl's like, oh no.
And Abby gets up while Fallon is dancing.
Insane.
Goes to the judge's table and is like,
Insane.
hi, I don't really know her. Disqualify her. She just forgot everything and she's making it up.
Even more insane.
And the judge, God love him for saying this, turns and looks at her and says, we can't disqualify her because she forgot her dance.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good
not
enough
how it
reason
works.
to disqualify someone.
Honestly,
Great answer.
Also, she just wants to like distance herself from the failing
know.
child. And the thing is, if she forgot her dance, like, then the points will fall how they'll fall.
Right.
If she was bad, then she was bad.
Right. It doesn't. Yeah. It's so stupid to me.
Yeah.
There, after we come back from the next commercial, Cheryl is like prepping Fallon for getting yelled at. She's like, okay, like Abby's gonna come in and like everything's fine. Like she's gonna be upset, but it's okay. Fallon is bleeding. And Cheryl says that's why when all the other moms come in, she says that's why Fallon started improvising was because she cut herself on the floor.
Which, how did that
I don't know if I buy that, but
yeah, that's my question. Was she? My only thought was that she had like jewelry on somewhere.
No,
and, like swiped.
I think it's like a carpet burn. Like she was scooting around on the stage and like rubbed, some skin off. I think that's what that is.
I was gonna say it didn't look like she like slammed herself anywhere.
I think it's like a carpet burn, but on like a dance floor.
Liza, are you keeping an eye out?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go grab her and show her to the camera before the episode's over.
Okay, she'll probably bite you.
No, she won't bite me. She just won't be happy.
Oh, Kathy walks in to the ALDC green room at this point.
I mean,
and she's like, hey, Fallon.
Like we never left.
You are so brave for continuing to dance. And
correct.
Even when you forgot something, you kept going. That's what it's all about. True. But then Kathy, my sister, she says, I would never get up and go to the judge's table and talk shit on you, which is what Abby did.
Christy's face when she
and
said
Christy's
that, like, she literally goes, oh.
Face correct. It's amazing.
That was really remarkable.
And then they're like, get out of here. And then Melissa like slams the door behind her and whatever.
Yeah. One of the other moms is like,
slam
the
it.
door.
It's Jill.
And she
Slam
goes,
it.
bam.
Yeah. Speaking of Jill, her bangs killing me. The bang is popping off, and I love that for her.
Some might say they're really banging.
Some might.
I wouldn't.
Abby, right?
But some would.
Right. Abby comes in and says that she's really disappointed in Fallon, but she's not really yelling like she normally does to other girls that she fucking hates.
Yeah.
She's just like, well, you didn't do well, and so here we are. And she says that she doesn't really care about Fallon's side of things. She just cares that the judges and everyone else thinks that she's a kid who got in over her head. Who said that? Who said that to you? You are saying that. But she's like, everyone in the audience knows that you're a dumbass who doesn't know things.
That's
it's
incredibly Trumpian.
Yeah, everyone thinks this about you. Yeah, everyone is saying this.
People are saying that. Who's saying you that? You are the one saying
You're
that.
saying that, yeah. We see the Candy Apples rehearsing, and I know. She's goobin'. I don't know what her deal is.
What is her goal here?
So oh wait, let me see if I can get a video of her.
Oh, she's about to go fucking ape shit, dude.
What are you doing?
I don't think she knows.
She's trying to get in that little house, but the door is on the ground.
Oh boy, this is just. Oh.
There we go. Now she's in.
Hell yeah.
Bye, dude.
I want to see the thing start like scooting across the floor.
It probably will.
I think she might be happy now. Good for you, Liza.
We see the Candy Apples rehearsing, and Kathy says to the moms that she wants to see Abby's group go first because she wants to know what they're up against.
Which is, oh my God.
Sorry, keep
Liza.
Going.
Oh. The look on her face.
She's being such a freak.
It's not even the witching hour at all. That's not for literally another 8 hours.
If you're only doing audio, I will put this in the video. Go look at the video feed.
At Spotify and YouTube?
Yeah. It's so funny. Yeah. Okay, anyway.
But yeah, that is a crazy... She's like, I want to see the other day. Dude, that is how you know, Kathy, you will never beat the ALDC.
Yeah.
Because
you can't handle actual competition.
Your whole attitude is like... Well, if they look good, I don't even want to try.
I only want to compete if I know I can win. That's not it, girl.
Shit.
That's weak shit.
Weak.
And then let's see. The choreographer says, the guest choreographer Aaron says, what are we teaching them? Which is a great point. Children? And Kathy's basically tells her to fuck off.
She's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm in charge and I'm making this decision. Aaron's just like, great.
Okay, great, whatever. The ALDC goes first for Red with Envy or whatever the dance is called. Their costumes, fugly. I'm not really sure. I know you skipped through it, but the choreography's not too mature for Mackenzie. I don't know why. I'm wondering if that was a numbers thing, and Abby wanted to make sure that they had the same number as what the Candy Apples was competing with, so they could stay in the same category. I wonder if the number of people in your group determines your category. So she's like, well, we'll kick off Mackenzie so we can have the same number as the Candy Apples to make sure we can compete with them. I don't know. The moms are cheering, from their seats. They do great. Abby says that their number was excellent. And Kathy is with her kids in the wings, and she pulls the number because she sees
she's like, oh, that's
the ALDC go,
no.
and she's like, this number's not ready. So I'm going to pull it. And the kids start crying.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's so sad. And also in the background, Nia and Maddie are listening to Kathy do this. And they run out into the seats and they snitch and tell Abby what Kathy's talking about.
Good.
It's so fucking weird. It's so weird. I was so upset for the kids because they're so sad, obviously. Kathy didn't even hint that this would be oh yeah, Kathy, this idea of I'm gonna pull it is crazy.
Yes.
Because what's this all been about? What's this whole episode been about? If they're not gonna compete in the group, Abby, this whole plot for this episode has been that the ALDC needs to beat the Candy Apples. But what's this all been about?
Yeah.
If the Candy Apples pulled their group now? I know they have a soloist, but the plot of this reality TV episode immediately disintegrates when you pull out the threat.
Yeah.
So what are we doing? What's the point?
It's just a wet fart of an ending.
It's a nothing burger. It's so annoying.
My least favorite kind of burger.
Truly. Some of the... I already said all this. Okay, we get to the awards. Fallon wins third, which is very high for a kid who was making it up on the spot.
That is so crazy.
And there's 1/10 of a point that separates second and first solo, and Kendall gets second, and Gavin gets first. And I'm assuming Gavin got first because he's a boy. And also he was turning. He kind of ate her up a little bit. And then Abby says in her talking head that she's thrilled for Kendall, which is a shock.
That is a legitimate shock.
Which is why I think it's because he's a boy. She's like, well, I knew she wasn't going to beat a boy.
She has said that plenty of times.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the group wins first. Duh. The Kathy thing is so weird to me. What was the point of all of this? We go back to the green room. The ALDC is doing their little cheer.
They have a very rehearsed cheer.
It's very cute.
Yeah,
I don't know. I kind of liked
into it.
Yeah, Abby's kind of into it. I think it's cute because they got their 10th win in a row, so they're really freaking out. Do you hear Liza upstairs?
I don't know where she is, but she's upstairs causing mayhem.
She's upstairs crouching on her food.
Dude, it sounds like she's right there. That's so loud.
Her food's at the top of the stairs,
but still.
Behind a gate, so that Iggy can't get to it. Because one thing about Iggy, she's going to eat everything she can.
Yeah.
So we have to keep the food behind a gate, away from Iggy.
We need to make her the profile picture on Instagram or something. It's just
a bunch of pictures of Iggy.
The pyramid, it's just Iggy.
Just little Iggy. Iggy. Abby asks Fallon and Cheryl to stay back as the other moms are packing up and leaving. And Holly in her talking head is this is not working clearly. It's time for them to go. And Abby says to Fallon, because she didn't beat Kendall, she's not on the team. And she's like, some of the other girls on the team, they're not that fabulous, but somehow they make it work. Bitch, no one else is in the room with you.
I think...
You should say, somehow they make it work because of me. Why didn't she take the credit in that moment? I don't know how Nia figures it out, but she somehow, because I'm a great teacher.
Well... she might have said that kind of thing if the kids were in the room. But right now she's just focused on like...
So she knows it's not her.
She might actually give a little bit of legitimate feedback to Fallon in that like you have to like figure shit out for yourself. Like you've got... This is basically the shittier way of saying you've got more talent than most of the people on this team.
Yeah, you could have beat them.
But their effort and teamwork is better than yours. So those are the things that you can work on.
Sure.
That would have been the better way to say it.
Sure.
But instead,
she's like, somehow these MFs are figuring it out week after week.
Fucking morons that I work with figure it out.
The candy apples like try to sneak past the ALDC green room.
They try to slink past.
Yeah, and all of the moms are like, "Hey, Kathy, why did you do this? What the fuck is your problem?
You're not getting out that easy."
And they're all screaming, and they just scream a bunch of bullshit into the ether about like, Kathy at one point says, "Your size nor your mouth intimidate me," which. Abby and Melissa are like, the fuck did you say? It's like, Kathy has said some fucked up shit to you guys before. I don't know why y'all are acting brand new. But
far worse than that.
And then Abby says, you don't even know how to stand, and Holly has to fight back laughter again because it's so comically ridiculous. And then they're screaming about who called who to teach their students. And next week on Dance Moms, we are talking about, or we get a lesson from some drag queens, and also Peyton is here. And that means Leslie's also here. So...
I cannot stand Leslie.
I hate Leslie. I really cannot stand her. But she does make for good TV, unfortunately, which is why she's back. Eli, what is the song? What's your song of the week?
It's Kiss Me More by Doja Cat and SZA.
Okay, keep talking about it.
I just like the song. I don't.
That's so annoying to me.
I don't.
That's like.
Oh,
like,
tell me how
dude.
it hits you. What experiences have you had with that? I don't know. It just came on a shuffle playlist, and I was like, "This song fucks, dude." I like this song. I think Doja Cat's great. I think SZA's great, and I like the song. It's a good bop.
I'm gonna cry, dude, because my song of the week is also SZA's.
No shit.
I love SZA, and I wanted to have a bonding moment with you about our commonality and our love for SZA.
Yeah, she's just good.
No.
Do you mean yes?
You gotta give me a little bit more than that, dude.
No, she's good.
Come on. Oh my god. My song of the week is What Do I Do by SZA off of her new album, Lana.
I don't know that song.
It's so good.
How good?
I'm going to play it for you right before you leave. The opening bar of that song is, last night you called on accident. I heard you fucking on the other end. It's too late. I'll never be the same again. What do I do? Bitch is with you right now.
How does
Bet
that
she's
even
on
happen?
it right now. Devastating.
How does that even happen? How do you accidentally call someone while you're banging?
I don't know. Butt dial?
Your phone's on your butt cheek?
I don't know.
You're
but it's such a good
fucking
song.
with pants on?
And SZA's performing in the Super Bowl with Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, shit.
Because they're BFFs. Kendrick and SZA are a lot like you and me. I'm going to be really honest.
Oh?
Because...
Wait, does that mean you're comparing me to Kendrick Lamar?
No.
Oh.
I'm Kendrick Lamar,
That is
obviously.
Oh, so I'm SZA?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hot as fuck.
Obviously. SZA... Well, actually, that's not
SZA,
true.
I'm sizzling.
SZA is just like...
I
don't know. They're like Kendrick Lamar and SZA's dynamic. She has spoken about this recently. Was that like when she first started doing music, Kendrick like kind of shepherded her through like, this is who you talk to and this is how you do this.
Hell
and
yeah.
whatever. And they've collabed a lot and their voices go so well together. It's crazy. But also in the background of the like ad announcement for SZA being a guest star, there is a visual reference to Tyler, the Creator, and I bet he's going to also be like a surprise guest.
That'd be interesting.
Because there's the song that's playing in the background is one that Tyler, the Creator, just remixed. There's a visual reference to his most recent album, and SZA's also there with Kendrick Lamar, so I bet Tyler, the Creator, is going to be the surprise guest. Anyway, I love SZA. She is my sister for real. We're the same person. Anyway, we're not, but I do love her, and our emotional landscapes are very similar. So anyway, love SZA. Love SZA. Okay, I think that's it. There will not be an episode next week. You're learning this live on air because I'm going to be out of town. But I think...
The fuck you going?
I think I only need to skip one. I'm going to Raleigh. Kill me. Not because of Raleigh, but because
okay.
I don't want to... The reason I am going is not a reason I want to go. Because it's for work. But... I think that's the only time I'm going to have to skip a week in February. I think every other time we could probably make it work with my very limited schedule. You're going to have to figure it out. Follow us on Instagram if you feel like it. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your bestie. All the things.
Yeah, do the things.
Love you so much.
So much.
Do you have anything else you want to say before we do our goofy little outro?
Good night, Alyssa.
Good night, Alyssa. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.